The Mavs are incomplete, uncomfortable, and under pressure. So, it's safe to say that they're not going to be among the favorites in the West. That is, if they make it into the playoffs. But here's the thing. It all depends on how you see their star player, Luka Doncic. If you think he's the real deal and has what it takes to lead this team to greatness, then maybe the Mavs can surprise us all. Doncic came into the league with a bang, already having won the Eurobasket and Euroleague titles before getting drafted third in the 2018 draft. And since then, he's only gotten better and better. One thing that's definitely helped Doncic's development is the comfort of being on a team that fully believes in him. He's been given the keys to the team and has been able to build his game steadily. So maybe the Mavs can still make some noise in the West. It all depends on how you see things. Is Doncic ready to win a championship? Does he have to be? I mean, we all know how insanely talented he is. His basketball IQ is off the charts. He can make impossible shots, and he controls the pace of the game like no other. But does he have what it takes to bring a championship to Dallas? Well, if you ask me, the answer is yes. I mean, this guy has been an MVP candidate since his second season in the league at the age of 20. But like all young stars, there are still limitations to his game that he needs to work on. For example, he's not the strongest defender out there, and he tends to turn the ball over quite a bit, especially in high-pressure situations. But let's be real, Doncic is still young, and he has plenty of time to improve. He's already shown that he's a force on the court, and with Jason Kidd, who knows what kind of improvement he'll make in the coming years. One thing that Kidd might want to work on with Doncic is his stamina. In last year's playoffs, he rarely played more than 40 minutes in a game, which is something most stars do in the postseason. Whether this was to save his energy or because he tires quickly, we don't really know. But if Doncic can improve his endurance, he could be even more of a threat come the playoffs. Again, if they manage to make it to the playoffs. Beyond that, Doncic has a very unique playing style that doesn't have a precedent for winning in the NBA. Even Hall of Fame caliber players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant have never posted the kind of usage rate that Doncic has in the past two postseasons, a whopping 40.4%. To put that into perspective, even James Harden, who is known for his high usage rate, maxed out at 37.1%. And while Doncic's usage rate may be impressive, it's not necessarily a good thing for the team as a whole. In fact, in last season's playoffs, when Doncic missed the first 3 games against Utah, his replacement, Jalen Brunson, had a usage rate of at least 34% in each game. But when Doncic came back in Game 4, Brunson's usage rate dipped below 30%, and it fell even further in the following 2 rounds. And in the conference finals against the Warriors, Doncic struggled as the Mavericks' offense sputtered. He shot just 41.5% from the field, and the team ultimately lost the series. It's been quite the ride for Doncic, with 3 playoff appearances already under his belt. But here's the thing, each time he's run into a superior team. That hasn't stopped him from coming back better each year though. In fact, with each playoff experience, Doncic has taken on a larger workload and continued to improve his game. Now, he finds himself in a bit of a limbo. Because he was such an elite player from a young age, he was tagged as an unguardable future MVP before he even hit his prime. That means he's already surpassed the normal trajectory for a young star. But now, with Kyrie Irving on the team and Doncic on his second contract, there are more than just banners on the line in Dallas. If they make it to this postseason, it's going to be a crucial one for Doncic and the Mavericks. It will reveal a lot about where Doncic is in his career and how the team can build the best possible roster around him. With the addition of Kyrie Irving, the Mavs have the potential to create a high-powered offense built around those two and some sharp shooters. If everything clicks before the postseason starts, this team could go far in the playoffs. But it's not just about offense. To really compete for a championship, the Mavericks will need to shore up their wing and interior defense. That's going to be crucial in stopping some of the league's top teams. As you know, the Mavericks roster was already unbalanced before the trade, and it feels even more incomplete now. The team is small, and that is a major issue currently. And if they make it to the playoffs, it will be worse when they need to go up against bigger opponents. Even with switchable big man Maxi Kleber, the team is likely to be even smaller. On top of that, the Mavericks wing defense took a big hit with Dorian Finney-Smith going to Brooklyn in exchange for Irving. That was a huge strength for them last season, and losing Finney-Smith is currently hurting them. The offseason dice rolls on JaVale McGee and Christian Wood haven't worked out as well as they had hoped. Head coach Jason Kidd plays both centers sparingly, and Dwight Powell simply isn't big enough to handle the best centers in the Western Conference. Now, the breakout of third-year star Josh Green should help round out lineups and benefit the two-star guards. But even his recent stellar play won't be enough to make the Mavericks fully comfortable chasing a playoff spot with the current roster. And of course, there's always the chance that things don't go according to plan. If the partnership with Irving fails, or if Doncic takes a step back in some way, the Mavericks could be looking at another offseason of uncertainty. It won't necessarily be back to the drawing board, but it will be a setback for a team that's trying to build a championship contender. We all know that the Mavs have been operating with a sense of urgency lately, but what's driving that impatience? Is it Doncic? Is it Cuban? Is it the front office? Who knows? Maybe it's a combination of all three. But one thing is clear, the Mavs are pushing hard to build a winning team around their superstar, and they're willing to take risks to do so. Case in point, their recent trade for Kyrie Irving, giving up Dorian Finney-Smith and a 2029 first-round pick for Irving is a pretty big deal. Sure, Finney-Smith is on a great contract, but the Mavs clearly believe that Irving is worth it. This move also raises the risk level tremendously. Irving is set to hit free agency this summer, and it's anyone's guess as to what he'll want to do. It's not a given that he'll stick around, so while the Mavs are definitely making moves to build a winning team, they're also taking on a lot of risks. If the Mavs don't make this partnership work and show Irving that they're building a team that can compete for a championship, they could be in trouble. They've already spent key players and assets to get Irving, so if he ends up leaving, the Mavs could take a major step back. That's why it's vital that they make this partnership work and show Irving that there's a potential pathway to a title here in Dallas. Of course, whether Irving wants to compete for a championship is not a guarantee, but assuming that's what he wants, the Mavs need to build out the rest of their roster to make it happen. But this urgency could actually end up complicating things when it comes to Luka Doncic's development. I mean, let's be real here. The Mavs have set the bar pretty high for themselves. They made it to the conference finals last year, so it's only natural for people to expect them to do even better this season. But as we know, the Western Conference is tough. And here's another thing to consider. Doncic is only 24 years old, and despite his incredible talent, he's still an incomplete player.
Yeah, I mean, we had the lead, but we couldn't hold it, so it's definitely a tough one. I don't know. I think what stays in the locker room, it's in the locker room, but it's not good, obviously. I mean, they're a great team, sometimes they're going to make a run. I think they were hitting, at the end of second quarter, they hit 3 threes, so that's why they went on the run. I mean, just playing with him, we met too with Jason, so it was good, us three. But this is the whole team, man. The whole team got to step it up a little bit. We still have chances, so we shouldn't give up yet.
He's got a lot of room to grow and develop his game. So while the Mavs are pushing hard to build a winning team, they also need to make sure that they're not putting too much pressure on their young superstar. Young stars learning through playoff failure is a story fundamental to the NBA. Two of the most prominent examples of this are Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Both of these guys lost again and again before they finally broke through and became the legends we know today. How did they do it? They tweaked how they played, how they approached defenses, and ultimately found ways to win. Luka has been fortunate enough to have a successful start in his NBA career, but the end of this season could be a turning point for him. It's important to remember that he's still a young player and has a lot of growth ahead of him. How he and the Mavericks handle the upcoming stretch of games could have a significant impact on their long-term success. So let's see if he's up to the challenge. Will Luka and Kyrie be able to take their team all the way? Only time will tell. For us, we just wait and watch. As always, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more NBA content. Until next time, take care.